Hello and welcome back to All Things Trentside. How you doing, guys? Hope you're all well. Feels like only yesterday I spoke to you guys. Well, it was yesterday. Oh, Christ, I really need to get someone else on the show so they can just tell me about these terrible jokes that I do make. I do apologise. It's hard to do it on your own, but I hope you're all well, guys. And like I said, I did speak to you like yesterday. I uploaded my review of the Huddersfield game, so if you want to check that out before you watch this one, or if you have already, I appreciate it. Tell your friends, drop a like on it. Really appreciate the support. But yeah, can't you tell football's back? Now we're in the thick of things now, as Forest aim to finish their championship season and at least secure a playoff spot, as they've been there for the majority of the season. And now they have 3 games in 7 days, just under 7 days. Huddersfield, which of course we've now played, Bristol City, which is for this video, and then the big one on Saturday, which is Derby. But yeah, this is now going to be my match preview for the game against Bristol City, as Forest look to make it back-to-back wins for the first time since the start of the year. I'll get into that later on in the video. And of course, continue their unbeaten start to lockdown, since lockdown finished, sorry. But yeah, not really a lot to say on this one. It's very hard to get the news from both camps, because of course I'm filming this before the managers come out and say if they've got any injury concerns going forward or what's going to happen. What we do know is that Sambaso could be back in contention for Forest, though, due to missing the game against Huddersfield. He did have a knee injury when lockdown happened. He seems he's carried that injury forward. I don't know if or not it's going to be it looks like it's going to be a persistent problem for Forest going forward, but he did miss it. He is in contention. I think he will be involved at some point, either in this game or against Derby, definitely, because we do need him in his record, as I always mention when we talk about Samba Sow, how great he is. With him in the side, he's only lost 1 game in a Forest shirt when he's played, and that was the opening day against West Brom, which we really shouldn't have lost, just due to 2 goalkeeping howlers that gave us that defeat. But now he should be back in contention. Hopefully we do see him. I think we are a stronger team with him. Like I say, it allows Ben Watson to sit back a bit more and allows So to attack. Kind of like we've seen on Sunday, Ben Watson just sat in front of the defence. Thiago Silva played further forward, but of course Thiago Silva's more of a attacking midfielder, not a defensive, so he was too far up the pitch sometimes, and we kind of got caught out with that. Also, positive news, depending on which way you look at it. I don't think many Forest fans will see it this way, but Adama Diakhaby should be back in the matchday squad. He was ineligible to play on Sunday because, of course, Huddersfield are his parent club. So, he'll be in the squad. He normally gets involved at some point. I think his pace, he hasn't really got anything else to go with it. He is quick, and tired legs. Maybe he could come on and stretch defences. I'm saying this really monotone because I don't think it's going to happen. But he might prove me wrong, because you just know for a fact that the amount of times that people slate Diakhaby, that he's going to pop up with a big goal. He's either going to score the winner against Derby on Saturday, or in the playoffs, he's going to come up with a big goal, isn't he? It always happens with Forest players. We slate them and then they end up doing something. Or he'll either play rubbish for us and then get a move in the summer, and he'll do absolute wonders. But yeah, that's the news out of the Forest camp. I don't think we've had too many injury concerns. I think Ben Watson might be one to take a look, keep an eye on, though. Of course, he did look like he was struggling through patches against Huddersfield. Managed to nearly complete a full 90 minutes, though, so maybe look like he's come through unscathed. But if we do see Ben Watson drop out of the team again, and we'll obviously know it's because he did pick up a knock against Huddersfield. But other than that, it looks like Forest will be full strength again, which obviously is good to have at this stage of the season, especially, with the big break we've had. The players are coming back and playing thick and fast now. It'll be interesting to see if their bodies can handle it, due to, of course, they're not used to playing in this sort of, I say heat, it's in England, but, sometimes in this sort of environment, because, of course, they have a pre-season, it's just pre-season friendlies, but this is actually competitive football. But hopefully we get no injuries, because, of course, the big one is on Saturday. This is a big game as well, Bristol City, but we'll see how Forest now react with the games coming thick and fast. But yeah, that was news from the Forest camp. News from Bristol City. Like I said, I couldn't really get much information due to the games being so close apart. They've not really uploaded much information on that. But what we do know is that their right back, Pedro Pereira, he won't be playing anyway. He was ruled out for 4 weeks with a thigh injury, so he'll miss the game. Other than that, Bristol City don't really have too many injury concerns. And before lockdown, I think Dan Bentley had a problem, the goalkeeper, and he's been placed by Nicky Minepar now, and he's lost his place. Famara Jeju's in contention as well. He come off the bench against Sheffield Wednesday, Bristol City's top goal scorer this season. Benik Afobe made his first start since August, so maybe he's not fit enough to play back-to-back games. I can't remember what injury he had, but I know it was quite a long-term one, so he did struggle to. It is a struggle, to play back-to-back games. So maybe we'll see Jeju come in. But yeah, that's really the team news. Can't really tell you much else on it. I'm really focusing on Forest. Just that's a bit of news on Bristol City. I don't know whether or not what team they'll go for now. Whether Lee Johnson will make changes because they are in a bit of a bad run of form. We'll go on to them in a minute. But Forest now, bit of now up now after the weekend's result. Looking for back-to-back wins, like I say, for the first time since beating Wigan and Blackburn. The last game before 2019 ended, 1-0 win against Wigan, and then the 3-2 win over Blackburn on New Year's Day. I think that proves that how inconsistent Forest have been. It's such a shame that these inconsistencies have happened. It happens with Forest sometimes, but probably be running away with the league if we just turned a few of them wins. Or after a game where we've won, we've not turned it into a win. It's been a draw or a loss, because the points we would have picked up would have been massive. But to not have a win, back-to-back wins since then, and still be in playoff contention, it shows how unpredictable this league is. Bristol City, though, they're on a bit of a bad run themselves. They haven't won since February. They beat Derby 3-2. That was their last win. We all like it when Derby lose, but since then, they haven't won in 7 games. That included a 2-1 defeat on Sunday. They lost to Sheffield Wednesday. Really abject performance from Bristol City, for someone who's trying to get into the top 6. They still have a slim chance of making it, though, but they could find themselves 8 points adrift come Wednesday if results go against them. And of course, we've seen in the Championship that it sometimes spurs people on. I think Forest needed that win on Sunday, as we've seen. Obviously, the gap would have been 4 points if we'd have lost, but then we extended it to 7. And of course, we can keep that 7-point cushion now, depending on how the results go, or we could even extend it. So, be interesting going forward, especially Bristol City. They are a team that Forest have struggled against in the past. I feel like I've done these match reviews now. This is my 3rd one. I feel like every team we have faced in the 2 games we have struggled against. We've only won once in the last 10 games against Bristol City. That was the 1-0 win when Gary Brazil was in charge, when Ben Osborne scored that delightful free kick when he flicked it up and volleyed it in. But other than that, 3 draws and 6 defeats. It's not looking good for Forest, especially Bristol City can come to the City ground and winded it last season in Martin O'Neill's first game in charge, when Jeju got the only goal, ruined his homecoming. I think it kind of set the tone for O'Neill's first his tenure back. But yeah, it's going to be a difficult one, because obviously they're looking to break the bad run of form they're on and make a late push for the playoffs. And of course, like I say, if they're 8 points adrift, I feel if they do lose on Wednesday, I might be wrong, but I feel like that would be curtains for their season, as in hopes of getting the playoffs might just be a bridge too far. So they'll be looking to get back to winning ways and just continue their push. They don't want to lose any more ground, and they want to make up ground as quick as possible. So depending on the results, it'll be interesting to see how the game goes. But like I say, Forest as well, slim chance of automatic promotion. Again, we could see that what happens on Tuesday with the results, and see if we could close the gap and maintain our position. We obviously want to finish as high up as we can, and we did move up to 4th in the table after yesterday's win against Huddersfield. So yeah, it's interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see how we go about the game. And this is, to say, thick and fast game. Will we rotate? Now, Lamucci put out his full strength side against Huddersfield. We've seen it in the past where he'd probably put a lesser side out, like he did against Charlton, and then wait for the rest of the big guns for this game. But of course, with that game coming on Saturday as well, will Lamucci do that and think, actually, we need everyone firing on all cylinders for the Derby game, so we're going to rest a few key players? I hope he doesn't. Obviously, you've got the excuse now that we're trying to keep everyone fresh, but we haven't got many more games left. We need to make sure everyone's fit and firing. Rest the players once we've secured the playoff spot or whatever. We need to make sure that we are playing our best players in every single game. Like the likes of Graben, I hope he stays in the starting 11. He's been great since lockdown finished. Sheffield Wednesday ran his socks off. Scored 2 goals against Huddersfield. Amiobi's done well. Lolly always looks lively. So it'll be interesting. I think the only one that potentially might come in is Samba So, of course. Sal, I think I say it both different ways, So or Sal, but you know who I mean. If he'll the Beast, we should really just call him. But it'll be interesting to see if he comes in. Of course, do we want to risk him for the Derby game? Because I do really think he'd be a big boost coming back for that game. I don't see him coming back, if I'm totally honest, or maybe just he'll either come back and play a few minutes, or he'll play 60 minutes and then get taken off, or even get taken off at half time, as we've seen Lamucci did with Brennan Johnson at the weekend. Be interesting to see if he gets a start as well. Brennan Johnson started the last 2 games since obviously lockdown finished. He didn't really get a sniff before lockdown happened. So Lamucci must see something in him. For me, he's more of an impact player, especially now we can make 5 subs. I think he's more, likely to do something than Diakabi, for example. But Lamucci likes to start him, and you're not going to question the manager's decisions. But be interesting to see going forward what the team is, especially, like I say, with that game on Saturday, which is, for me, probably one of Forest's biggest games of the season. But I'll get into that, of course, when I do my next review. Preview for the game, sorry. Danger man, really, we've got to look out for is Nahki Wells. Someone Forest fans know too well, with being linked with him in January, of course. 4 million arrival from Burnley. He was on loan at QPR. He banged, I think, 12 goals in for QPR before he's moved to Bristol City. Hasn't really done the business for them yet. He's only scored 3 goals in 10 games, which for someone you pay 4 million for, you would expect a little bit more, maybe, 5 goals, so 1 goal in at least 2 games. 1 goal in 3 games isn't a bad return, especially, of course, he's come back from lockdown. He did get the consolation goal on Sunday as well, but everyone knows what Nahki Wells about in the Championship. He's been there, he knows what to do, got the T-shirt, scores goals, he's pacer, and you can see why Forest were linked with him. Of course, went for Da Costa in the end. Many Forest fans weren't happy about that, and I just hope he doesn't come back to haunt us, really. A few more danger men as well. Andy Vyman, who we all know from his time at Derby, not really fond memories of him. I remember I was sat in A block for the Bristol City game last year, so when Jesus scored the winner, and he gave it the big one when they scored to Bridgeford Lower for his Derby connections. Of course, Jamie Patterson, a player we know well. I think he's lost a few followers now, being trading Forest for Derby this year, and he's had his loan spell. He's back now at Bristol City, and hoping he can continue their push for the top 6. But they've got a few danger players. Jeju, another one, and I feel like Bristol City are a team that cause Forest problems, especially having the big muscly centre half that Jeju is. He's powerful. We've seen in the past that Forest can't deal with that. So it'll be interesting what team Lee Johnson sets up, especially because he's a man under pressure now. Bristol City are in such a good run of form. They were in the top 6, but no winning 7 now. He is a man under pressure to get results. But Forest themselves, another team under pressure, especially with this new contract now. Lamucci is all eyes on him. He's going to be the first man to finish the season since Billy Davis. And will he be able to, keep that momentum going? He's got the win now. He's shown that, I said in my review video against Huddersfield, the longer you leave a win after lockdown, the longer it would have gone on, the nervier it would have got. But now we've got that win under our belt. We are unbeaten. We should really be having 2 wins on the spin, looking for 3. But unfortunately, we conceded that 93rd minute equalised Sheffield Wednesday. But we just need to set up in great form, because I keep mentioning it. But that game on Saturday, I think even if we was in wretched form or had nothing to play for, we want to win that game on Saturday. But there's even higher stakes now. This is probably the biggest derby for some time in regards to the stakes that are on offer. But we've got to make sure we're going there in good form. If we do lose to Bristol City, make sure it's by the odd goal. Don't play poorly, because we know that Derby will exploit that. But it's going to be really interesting, especially how Lamucci sets up tomorrow, due to the game on Saturday, especially with the early kickoff as well. So Derby, I can't remember what time they play. I don't think they play on Tuesday or Wednesday. And let's have a quick look on that, because of course that'll give them advantage for quicker recovery. So Derby, they play on Wednesday also against Preston. It's a different kickoff time, but by an hour. They'll just have that extra hour recovery. It sounds silly, but we'll see what they do and see if we can exploit that. Derby got a tough game as well, so we're hoping Preston can do us a favour, just maybe stop the good run of form they're on, ready for Saturday. I know the form goes out the window, but that's something I'll discuss later on in, like I say, in my my preview video for my first Derby day as well that I'll be doing. As always, we're on referee watch. The referee for Forest, Bristol City, is going to be Darren Bond. He's took charge of 2 Forest games this season. He took charge of the 3-2 win against Blackburn, which he gave a penalty in that game. So he's not, like I say, he's not afraid to make a decision if he's put under that, or if it's a stonewaller. I think it's a bit of debate in the Huddersfield game if it was a penalty or not. But we know this referee will give penalties if needed. He also refereed the game against Charlton, where obviously the 1-0 home defeat. Less said about that, the better. Hopefully the team against Blackburn turns up and not the team against Charlton, and history don't repeat itself by playing a second string team. He did take charge of Bristol City's 1-0 victory over Barnsley as well this season, so he's oversaw victories for both teams this season. Hopefully he'll be in charge of another Forest victory. I don't know a lot about the guy refereeing, but just a bit of background, get context. If you was at that game, you might know if he was, if he made some decisions, good decisions or not. Just like keeping people informed on the referees is something I thought I'd add. But yeah, guys, it's Forest are back now, and we're well and truly into the swing of things. The frustrations might be growing, of course, if Wednesday does come around and we play a rubbish team and then get beat. Obviously, we need to be in the right frame of mind going forward. I keep saying with that big game on Saturday, I think it is billed as a huge game. I can't think of a bigger derby for quite a while now, where they've both had something to play for. Of course, there has been a few games, but I'll explain that more in the preview video. Hopefully the preview for Derby will be a bit longer than these ones, because of course it is a big game and there is so much passion and emotion for that game. So these ones are just talking about teams and if we lose and what we do going forward and who we've played. But of course Derby, like I say, there's been a lot gone on and a lot of history for that fixture, so I hope you look forward to watching that one. So I am in the market of trying to get someone else on as well. It would be nice to have someone just to really get their opinion on stuff. I'd give my opinion, say as well, to tell me if some of my jokes are terrible. I just kind of have to laugh to myself. But hopefully you all are enjoying the podcast at the minute. If you do, like I say, have any constructive criticism to give me, I'm always open to it. Just give me DM on Twitter, tweet me, comment down below. If you're interested as well in coming on the podcast, I'd love to get you all on it, get you all involved, get your thoughts. It's always nice to get someone else's differentiating thoughts to mine, and just take that podcast to the next level. But yeah, thanks guys. That is my review. My preview, for the game against Bristol City on Wednesday. It's a 6 o'clock kickoff on the 1st of July at the City Ground. So just remember that we aren't allowed to go down the EFL, and Forest have released a statement saying when we play, stay away. But other than that, the only bit of news I've got to tell you is that Albert Adoma is returning, it looks like, on loan from Cardiff. Neil Harris isn't too happy about that. It looks like Lamucci said he's our player, we're in our rights to recall him. Of course, his loan expires on Tuesday the 30th of June. I'm recording this on the Monday, so it should expire today if you're watching it today. But I can see why Forest are doing it. I talked to a friend about it the other day, that would you recall him? Of course you would. You're not going to help Cardiff bid their push for the top 6 by giving them one of your players. We're going to recall him, of course. We're not going to let him potentially go into the top 6 without us if we were to drop out. It might be a bad decision. Hopefully he comes back there and plays a bit of a part. You can see it written now. We're going to recall him. We're going to get Cardiff in the playoffs, and he's going to do something, isn't he? You can just see it now. But yeah, Uncle Albert looks like he's coming home. It's a good character to have around the dressing room as well. He's a very, very friendly guy, very funny guy, looks like. And it looks like he'll lift the spirits of players coming back, and he just gives us that extra bit of creativity going forward. I think he didn't do too badly when he was there. I was a bit surprised when we let him go on loan, especially when we brought in, such a shoddy replacement, should I say. I mean, Diakabi hasn't set the world alight, and he's got 7 games to prove us wrong. Or, of course, to score the winner against Derby, you can be as baddest player you've ever seen in a Forest shirt. But as long as you do something against Derby, that's all that matters. But yeah, guys, that is my news for Forest and my preview for the game against Bristol City, as Forest look to make it 2 wins on the spin for the first time this year. I mean, I don't know if you count the win against Blackburn this year as back-to-back wins, because of course the first win happened in 2019. But now we look to continue on beaten start after the lockdown has been lifted and Forest are back. But yeah, guys, hopefully we pray for another 3 points. I will be speaking to you very soon, of course. I'll be uploading the review from the game, the Bristol City game on the Thursday, and then I'll be here with a big preview on Friday as Forest take on East Midlands rivals Derby County. But yeah, hopefully, guys, we're toasting another Forest victory when we next speak. Stay safe, guys, and come on, you Reds.